Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. We've been having ice fishing tournaments in all the different little towns that are on the water system in our area. And there's so many, it's hard to cover them all. But I got to tell you, this last week there was a tournament put on by the Black Lake Fish and Game Club. And I had stopped in Walmart, and one of the guys that works in Walmart, I know that when you all folks go in there and you talk to the people in Walmart, they're going to get some kind of sense, at least in the sporting goods, of some of the things going on. So I always, when I'm in there, I always ask him, what have you heard lately? And he said, well, I guess he was part of this whole ice fishing tournament that the Black Lake Fish and Game Club put on. And there's certain things that took place in that I think is fantastic. Number one, over 400 people entered on a day that was one of the coldest days of our winter. And you know, we've had almost record cold weather this year. I can't remember in decades where in 1 week we had 3 different times when it hit 27 below, and that's without the wind chill. So it was awful cold out there on the ice. And if you've never ice fished, just imagine going out there on the ice when it's below zero and drilling a hole and trying to catch a fish when your whole body is freezing. So the fact that there were over 400 people that took part, that's fantastic. The money, they raised a lot of money for the club so that they can continue to do other things that are helpful to our area. Now, from what I understand from the reports I got, the biggest fish that was entered was a 33-inch northern pike. That's a big northern. I mean, you know, each body of water has sort of a different genetics code in their northerns. And so you find some of the biggest pike are going to be in the bays that come in from Lake Ontario. And there's a lot of big pike still in the St. Lawrence River. And I say still because over the years, the spawning situation, we've talked about it so much. But the northern pike health and population has gone down over the last several decades. But there's still some huge northerns out there. Black Lake has a lot of northerns. They haven't been affected by this spawning thing, areas where the fish go to spawn and they get taken over by either new development or growth of other stuff where the fish can't get back there to spawn. That hasn't really taken place in Black Lake. But the average northern there are not as big as they might be in some other areas. There's still some dandies. Now, here was the interesting thing. The guy that I was talking to in Walmart, he said that his girlfriend actually caught a 30-inch northern pike. And I said, well, that's a beauty. That's a really nice sized fish. And he says, yeah, she's having it mounted. And she is because it's the biggest fish so far of her lifetime. So there were a lot of good things that came out of this derby. A lot of people got to go fishing. A lot of people were able to give their entry fee to help the club to be able to go forward. And I'm sure there will be a lot of stories that come out of it. One other thing he did tell me, he said we were there early. And from, I think he said 5 in the morning or some really early time until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they never got a strike. And then all of a sudden at 1 o'clock, the fish became somewhat active. And there were other fish that were caught at that time. So it tells you a lot of things. But I want to give shout out hoorays to the Black Lake Fish and Game Club for putting this on and having it be successful for them because, boy, they had one of the toughest days for this to happen. And the one thing we can't control is Mother Nature. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.